Okay, I just got back from a rifle elk hunt in Arizona. It was a late season hunt. I've got a lot of stuff here on the table. I've got a couple things off the table just because I couldn't fit everything on here that I brought on the hunt. But I'm just going to kind of break down everything that I brought, and I'm probably going to have to move things off the table just so I can get to the next thing. But I guess the first thing that I'll start with is my rifle. This is my Weatherby Vanguard Talon, chambered in 300 Win Mag. I love this rifle. It's very accurate. It's lightweight. I think with the scope and the tripod, this rifle with everything together weighs like 7 pounds, 10 ounces, something like that. So super lightweight. It's just a good rifle to have when you're hiking through the mountains. It's also really accurate. The scope I have on here is the Leupold VX6 HD. This is the 3-18, and it's a great scope. I have the fire dot, which is like the little red dot that you have in the center of your crosshairs there. Great scope, no problems with it. It's very durable. The bipod I have on here on the front, it's magnetic, it's super lightweight. This is the Spartan Precision Pro Hunt. I love this bipod. A lot of times when I'm carrying it, I'll just keep it on there, but it's magnetic, so you can pop it off and keep it in your pack or your pocket, and then if you need it, just pops right on. Lightweight, very convenient. So that's my rifle setup. Next, I'm gonna talk about my shelter. It's a pretty big shelter for one person. This was a solo hunt. And this is a shelter I usually use when I have 2 or 3 people. It's a Seek Outside Red Cliff. So it's like a 6-person teepee, floorless shelter. But this is what I have, and this is what I went with. I also utilized the Seek Outside titanium stove. This is the XXL stove from Seek Outside. I think it has a 9-foot pipe that I pipe out of my teepee. And this setup is great for late season. Some of the nights and mornings waking up, it was like 18 degrees in northern Arizona in the mountains. So being able to have a stove in your teepee, you can really get it cranking, and it's actually very comfortable and cozy throughout the night. I'm going to do another review kind of breaking down this setup in its own specific video, so stay tuned for that. But this is the Seek Outside Red Cliff teepee. Early season, if I'm just doing solo hunting, I probably wouldn't bring this. You know, with the center pole and the stakes and the nest and everything I have in here, it's probably about 7 or 8 pounds. So that's pretty big for a shelter for one person if you're trying to be mobile and be lightweight. But if it's late season and you have multiple people, this is an awesome option. Kind of just talked about this titanium stove from Seek Outside. I find it amazing that you can pack it down into this little bag that's, you know, smaller than a briefcase, and then you have a stove you can set up in your teepee in the mountains remotely and be really warm even when it's frigid. This is about 3 pounds. The sleeping pad that I use is this Nemo Tensor Extreme Conditions. This pad just came out in the last year, and it's for extremely cold and frigid temperatures. It's pretty thick. I think it's about 3 inches thick when it's fully inflated. And I don't know what kind of science and technology goes into this, but this keeps you really warm. Even if you're putting this down on snow or really cold ground, it definitely is good for those super cold conditions. So this is my pad. It's also really comfortable. If you like kind of a thicker kind of, it's almost a bouncy type pad, then you'll definitely like this. It's not loud. It's not squeaky. It's pretty lightweight. You can see it's not that big. So I would recommend this for anybody. Nemo Tensor Extreme Conditions. The sleeping bag that I use, or actually it's a quilt. This is from Zen Bivy, which is a company that's starting to become pretty popular in the in the outdoor hiking and camping industry. It's called Zenbivy. They kind of specialize in these down quilts and these down quilts and sleeping bags. And this is a 15 degree quilt from Zenbivy. It is really, really comfortable, and it's really, really warm. This paired with that sleeping pad I have, the Nemo Tensor, and you know, it was below 20 degrees, I think 17, 18 degrees a couple mornings waking up on this hunt, and I was completely fine underneath this. Even hours after my stove had died and that wasn't providing any warmth in the teepee, I was still totally comfortable and fine in this in 18 degrees. I know people have mixed opinions about quilts. A lot of people love them. Some people don't like them at all. I think a big common issue with them is drafts. And there was only one night where I had an issue with a draft on this, and I resolved it by actually using, they have a series of clips towards your upper body that clip onto a sheet that you put on your sleeping bag, but they also have a clip kind of closer to your waistline that you can clip as well. And as soon as I clipped that onto the sleeping pad, I didn't have any draft issues. So this quilt's been great. I like it a lot. Very comfortable. Paired with that quilt, I have the Zenbivy sheet. And this is it's just really a soft material that you put over your sleeping pad, and it just makes it a little bit more comfortable. It really doesn't weigh much at all. And there's a hood, if I can find it, there's a hood up here, which this is also actually down. So this provides some insulation as well for your head, and your pillow goes in there, and it's pretty cozy. I like this system a lot. This straps around your sleeping pad, then you kind of have this nice soft cloth material on that. It's not like a squeaky kind of plastic. So loving that Zenbivy system. I've got a total of 20 nights sleeping with that and the sleeping pad, and it's been awesome. Getting into clothing. So I wore these pants every day of the hunt. So for like 9 days straight, and they were great. These are the KUIU Axis hybrid pants, I believe. They're very tough and durable, and they have a little bit of insulation, it seems. There's like this kind of soft layering on the inside. So these are really nice. The days in Arizona would kind of get up to about 45, 50, so it wasn't that cold, but these were totally fine for that. I wouldn't wear these in early season because they'd be too warm. You'd be sweating. But one good thing they do have is they have the hip vent pockets. So when you're hiking up the mountain for an hour or two and you're sweating, you can dump a ton of heat with these hip vent pockets, which are awesome. But these are great pants. You know, mid to late season, I would recommend these for active hunts. They're the KUIU Axis hybrid pants. Base layer, I have the KUIU Merino 145. Long sleeve shirt, stays dry, doesn't stink, and it's definitely very comfortable. Mid layer, I have, I'm usually either wearing this or my other sweater, which I actually didn't bring in. It's a Duckworth merino powder hoodie, I love that hoodie. It's so comfortable. Kind of ashamed I don't have it here to show because it's my favorite hoodie, but I'm either wearing that or that in conjunction with this over top of it, just as kind of a windbreaker. This is the KUIU Peloton 240 microgrid fleece, and this is a great mid layer, or early season this can be an outer layer. And then those super cold mornings or nights, I was putting this over top, which is the KUIU Super Down Pro. For the weight to warmth ratio, I don't think you're going to find anything that can beat this on the market. It is a little bit expensive, but it's amazing. Super lightweight. This can pack down to about this big if you want to really pack it down, and it weighs nothing. It's super warm. Super Down Pro is a must for me. Gloves. These are Black Ovis glassing mitts. I only wore these on 2 mornings that were really, really cold, but other than that, I didn't really need gloves. These are good. You know, for the money, these are great options. Very warm down mitts. You can pop this flap over, and then your fingers are exposed. If you're going to be pressing any buttons or pulling a trigger or something like that, you can pull the flap and good to go. But Black Ovis glassing mitts, these worked well. Then gaiters. These are the Kuiu. I think these are the Yukon gaiters. Super tough. These are great. I wear gaiters pretty much on every hunt. They really keep the moisture out of your boots, and they block the wind. You know, a lot of people say that they're loud, so that, you know, some people don't wear gaiters because they feel like they're too loud. These are not actually, I haven't noticed these to be loud at all. Good for the wind, good for the brush, good for the moisture. I love gaiters. Raincoat, this is just a raincoat I've had for a couple years. I just keep it in my pack in case I need it. I didn't on this trip, but it's just a Marmot raincoat that I've had for years. Just a basic wool beanie from Marawool, nothing fancy there. Boots for this hunt, since it was a little bit colder, I wore my Schnee Beartooth boots. These have 200 grams of insulation, and these are just great mountaineering boots. Super comfortable. My feet were not cold once the entire time on this hunt, and these are my go-to basically from the end of October, you know, through the winter. These are the Schnee Beartooth boots. Pillow. I've had this pillow. This is like a camping pillow that I've had for years. I can't do the inflatable pillows. They don't work for me. I don't find them to be very comfortable. So I have this Thermarest pillow, and it does a pretty good job. It's pretty comfortable, and it packs down. It's got some foam inside of it. I generally do have to put like a sweatshirt over it just to make it a little bit thicker, but it's a pretty good pillow. I like it. This here is just a sheet of Tyvek. I usually put this underneath my sleeping pad just in case there's any thorns, any stickers, anything like that, rocks, sticks, that I don't want to puncture my sleeping pad. I'll just lay this down underneath my sleeping pad just to protect that. This is a big Sea to Summit dry sack. I think this is a 20 liter, but I'll use this. I'll shove all of my food, you know, 8-9 days worth of food in Ziploc bags, freezer bags, and just put them in this, and then all my food is secure in that. This is the Helinox Chair Zero. So this is a little portable chair that you can bring with you. I usually keep it with me in camp, unless I know I'm going to a designated glassing area where I can use this. It weighs like a pound, and it's definitely nice to have a chair to sit in when you get back from hiking all day. So only weighs a pound. I would highly recommend it. Makes a big difference. So on this hunt, there was not a lot of natural water sources to get water and filter water. So wherever I had to go, I kind of had to bring water in from my truck. I generally use these HydroSeek bladders. This is a 4 liter, and I would bring 1 or 2 of these depending on how long I was going to be in a particular area. I really like these. They're really durable. They pack down really small, and they carry a lot of water. And the neat thing is you can get the caps that go into the top of here that are actually filters. So you can use these to store water, to carry water, and you can filter your water with, if you get the filter cap with this. All right, moving on, we have my Possibles pouch, and here I just store a lot of essential things that I'm going to need on a pretty frequent basis. So I'll have, it's pretty messy in here right now, but I'll have some paracord. I'll have my my headlamp in here. I'll have some tape, a repair kit for my sleeping pad and for my tent, little Leatherman, some game calls, some elk calls in here, lighter, a portable battery bank, extra wind checker, a lighter, another Bic lighter with some Luco tape on it, some pyro putty. This is fire starter. This stuff's great if you need to start a fire quickly. It's just a little putty that you can break down and you put it in your fire and it starts right up. I use this most nights to get the fire started in my stove. And little shot of Fireball, just in case. And that's about it. So it's kind of a junk drawer with all the essentials that you need. And I keep these in the top of my pack just so it's real handy. Next, we have a medical kit. In here, I have all the essentials. I have your basic camping med kit. I have tourniquet. I have Quick Clot. I've got ibuprofen, Tylenol, antihistamines, allergy stuff. So just enough to cover the basis for any kind of medical emergencies. This here is my toilet paper. So I actually have baby wipes and a little bit of toilet paper in there. And that's pretty self-explanatory what that's for. This is my kill kit. So in here I have my game bags, Caribou game bags. These are the elk editions. I have my knife in here. I have a Havlon in here as well, and some rubber gloves. I'm using this Jetboil Minimo. This thing's great. It is a little bit of a weight penalty if you're comparing it to some of those ultra lightweight, small little cookers, but it's a great system. It boils water incredibly fast. So I'm using this for boiling water for freeze-dried meals, and then also a lot of coffee. So I do have the French press in here. So I bring some actual real coffee and I can French press with this, and I'm in a good mood in the mountains. Here is a 20,000 watt battery bank that I'll keep with me to charge my InReach, my phone, my camera, whatever I need to charge, my headlamp. Another thing that's not on the table here that I did bring is my camera. I'm actually filming this right now with it. It's a Canon R5C. And then I'll bring a couple lenses with me as well, like a little 16mm prime and a 35mm prime. Here I have a Go Hunt titanium mug. This thing is super lightweight. I usually drink my coffee out of this. And I like to have this with me. It does take up a little bit more space. If anything happens with my Jetboil, if that doesn't work, I can always boil water in this titanium mug. I can put this on my stove, or I can start a fire, put this over it, and I can boil water. So it's a good thing to have just as a backup, but I also like to drink my coffee out of this. On my side, usually have this Nalgene water bottle. Okay, optics. So for optics, I have the Vortex Mini Razor spotting scope. And for this, I'm really using this mainly to film. I mean, I do use this to verify the size of animals, but I don't actually glass out of this that much, to be completely honest. I usually have this set up with my cell phone on here with this all-in adapter. And then I'm using this to kind of capture footage of animals or whatever. It is nice. It's lightweight. It's handy. Optical quality is pretty good. And this is an awesome setup if you're going to be getting footage while you're hunting. Bino harness is a Kifaru bino harness. This thing's been rock solid. Like it, I have 2 pouches on the side. One is for my rangefinder. This is a Vortex Diamondback HD 2000, and it's been fine. It's definitely a good option for archery, for rifle and farther distances, I didn't have any issues. There was a couple times where it was a little slow to range things that were, you know, out past 800 yards. But if you can get it pretty stable, it's totally fine. Wind checker on the side here. I've got my InReach Mini 2 right there. In this side pouch, I'll keep like a reed elk call. I'll also put batteries or chapstick or anything else in this other side pouch. Binoculars. This trip I brought these SIG Zulu 6 HDXs. These are the 16 by 42 versions. I believe this is the version 2. I know they have a newer model, the 50 millimeter objective. But these I got for about half the cost of those newer ones. These were awesome. Total game changer. I'm going to be bringing these on every hunt from here on out. Tripod here I got on Amazon years ago. It's a Gikoto AT24 Traveler. For the money, I think this is an outstanding tripod. It's lightweight. It has latches for the individual stages. Don't typically like tripods that have the turn fasteners that tighten the different stages of the legs. They're just annoying to me, and a lot of times they don't end up working. I prefer latches. And I've beaten this tripod up. I've had it for over 5 years, and it's totally fine. Can't remember how much it was, but I know it was well under $100. I think it was 60 bucks. And then the head, this tiny head, it's very fluid. It's very small and lightweight. It's a small rig pan head. And this is also maybe 30 bucks. So this tripod setup here is under $100. And although I have not done any comparisons with this setup and a lot of those lightweight hunting tripods, I would think that this would compete pretty well with a lot of those, and this is maybe a third of the cost. But hey, maybe that'll make a good video in the future. Maybe I'll get one of those nice hunting tripods and do a comparison and see how it's up. But it's been great. It's lightweight and no issues whatsoever. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the pack I used. And I used the Exo Mountain Gear K4 pack. This is the 7200 pack. And I've used this in Montana in September for a week. And then I just used it on a late hunt in Arizona for 8 days. And the pack's great. It's incredibly comfortable. It handles weight really well. You know, you see all this gear. I think the heaviest I've had in this is probably 75 pounds and handles it fine. I have not had the chance to tag out on an animal and use the frame and test that out and see how it handles weight in that capacity. But I'm hoping that changes soon. But other than that, the pack has been great. I have no complaints. Definitely an awesome pack. Okay, other than the food that I brought on this hunting trip, that's everything that I brought on this late season rifle elk hunt in Arizona. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We will see you on the next one.